Unfolding in South Texas, and KPRC2 is there with live team coverage. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Dominique Saxa.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Chris Gutierrez on assignment along the Texas-Mexico border tonight. We wanted to give you at home a better sense of what exactly our nation is facing right now along our southern border. Take a look. We're actually broadcasting live tonight from Anzadulas Park. We're in Mission, just outside of McAllen, Texas. In fact, if you were to hop in your car right there in Houston, you go down the Southwest Freeway to Victoria, you go 77 south from Victoria, you'd be here in about 6.5 hours. Over my left-hand shoulder over here, that's the Rio Grande River, where earlier today, take a look, I actually got an exclusive boat tour with DPS. These are members of the prestigious Marine Tactical Team, and they took me out on that 34-foot boat to give me a better sense of what they deal with every day. In fact, just hours after this boat tour, Senator Cruz took the exact same boat tour today. The guys on this boat tell me, and you can see they're loaded down with that heavy machine gunnery, they tell me that they are up against the wall right now. Listen here.
We usually run with a 5 to 6 man team. We have night vision, we have thermal capabilities for nighttime radar. We have a drone on board also that we can deploy where we have any type of criminal activity. We know that the cartels have heavy weapons, so what we're trying to do is just support ourselves in case something, the worst case happens.
You got to protect yourselves.
Yes, sir.
At the end of the day, you want to get home, right?
Yes, sir.
Just after I got off that boat, Senator Ted Cruz and also Senator Lindsey Graham got on that exact same boat to take the same tour. In fact, 18 U.S. Republican senators from D.C. made their way down here to tour this border region. Our live team coverage continues now with my colleague Robert Arnold with a closer look at what it is that they saw and what they're hoping to get out of it. Robert, good evening.
Good evening, Chris. As we have seen in years past, the debate over how to address this latest surge in illegal border crossings is falling along party lines. Republicans want stricter measures put in place now to further prevent more people from trying to illegally cross into the United States. Democrats, on the other hand, say wholesale immigration reform is needed to rebuild a system that's been left in tatters. After an hour-long ride on Texas Department of Public Safety boats patrolling the Rio Grande, a contingent of Republican senators flatly blamed President Biden's administration for the recent surge in illegal border crossings. Texas Senator John Cornyn says the sights of families and unaccompanied children being released from Border Patrol custody is pulling more immigrants toward our border.
Ending catch and release, making sure people with legitimate claims get to present them to an immigration judge, I think should be a priority.
While these senators were on the border, Democratic leaders were visiting a shelter for unaccompanied minors in Carrizo Springs, Texas, and they blame the Trump administration for throwing our immigration system into chaos.
President Biden inherited a situation where the previous administration had sought to dismantle the infrastructure for processing asylum seekers and settling asylum seekers in the United States.
And in the middle of this debate are Border Patrol agents and those caught illegally crossing the border.
That's the problem is when you see these kids and what they're going through. When you see a 7-year-old kid that their parents are not there with them, when you find a body washed up on the river, especially a body of a young child, and then you realize that we're at a stalemate because of politics. You know, I think that partisan hat needs to be left at the door.
Each of the Republican senators, in their own way, called for a reinstatement of what was known as the Remain in Mexico program. That was the program instituted under President Donald Trump, to where when an asylum seeker was caught illegally crossing into the United States, they were placed back in Mexico while their asylum claim was decided. That program was ended after President Biden took office, and Republican senators are specifically blaming an ending of that program for leading to this recent increase. They say unless a program or programs like that are similarly are put back in place, there will be no negotiations on greater wholesale immigration reform. Reporting live from Mission, Robert Arnold, KPRC2 News.